Okay.
Alrighty, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Hey AunTeas, this is Landon from New York. I'd like to dedicate today's intro of Minority Report to our friend, Deputy Sheriff Shannon Bennett of the Broward County Sheriff's Department, a gay person of color who died in the line of duty after contracting the coronavirus. His friendship, his service, his smile, and his spirit shall not be forgotten. AunTeas, what's brewing today?
Super Sonic Wig Party.
Ask your aunties, resting blackface?
And Insecure is back, bitches. So get your cups ready for Minority Report.
Ow. That was right on time.
Right?
Yes.
Hey, ladies.
Good morning. Well, hello, y'all. How y'all doing today?
Cycle sisters.
Ankles. What's ankle sisters?
I said cycle sisters.
Oh.
I thought you said ankle sister. I was like, ooh.
Oh, what is that?
Came out reading already.
I honestly thought you said
No.
ankles too. I'm like, oh, she chopping
Cycle.
somebody. You know, right?
No.
It's like your ankles ashy or something? I don't know.
Look, actually, I think mine are, all right.
I was gonna say she never leaves the house, but she hadn't left the house in a while. So
It's funny. Like, has the quarantine changed your routines? Do you find like you're not either like showering as often or not? Like for me, like I might shower at like 8 p.m. at night or something like that now, and then that's if I shower for that day. And then I'm not wearing underwear as much anymore. I'm just throwing on some sweatpants and calling it good.
so that means you sleep in the nude.
Yes, I do sleep in the nude.
Same.
Okay.
Same.
See, I don't.
Yeah.
I have to have clothes on.
Nope. Oh, I don't know.
I'd be sweating.
Not just that. I just feel like I feel cuffed up when I'm in clothes. Like I feel like I'm gonna choke in my sleep or strangle myself because I toss and turn a lot, and so like the collar like tends to end up choking me because I'm turning in circles, and I will wake myself up like because I didn't wrap myself around in my shirt. Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah,
that's because that's more because you be buying them, like crop tops from
ASOS.
Right, from ASOS. They've been trying to kill a bitch at night.
First of all, she got to buy the plus size crop tops. Okay, so I got the extra flare at the end on mine. The little height, a little tummy. But I don't know, Carell. Honestly, I'm kind of with you. Like, I find myself just like showering whenever the hell I feel like it. I'm like, sometimes I'll be sitting there, I'm like, oh, I think that's my fault.
You get a
that ain't
whip.
the armpit. I'm like, oh yeah, she needs to go shower real quick.
Yeah.
But for real though, like, ain't nobody gonna see me, so I'm just like, look, until I can't tolerate myself, then it don't matter.
Exactly.
Like, at all. So
Literally.
I will say I also don't put on enough lotion anymore. Like I will shower and I will not lotion and I'll look at my legs and I'll be like, oh goddamn.
Oh, see, no, I still
Like
I gotta put the lotion on.
She look like she got her Easter Sunday stockings on some days. Like
You got to run up your leg.
yeah.
Wash your hands, wash your legs, wash your ass, and put some lotion on.
Yeah, I don't really shower until like maybe around, I want to say like noon or 1:00, because I've been working out almost every day, like during the week. On the weekends, it's like all relax mode, but like during the week, I've been working out in the morning, so I can't work out on a full stomach, so I don't eat, and I don't normally eat breakfast anyway, so I skip breakfast, even though I'm up at 7 a.m. I skip breakfast. I do my workout around like 9:40, 10 o'clock. It lasts about an hour, and then I've got to like cool down because I'm just like dripping like with sweat, and then I get in the shower, a little bit later, and by that time it's like, 1:00.
Right. What are you doing for your workout?
I was just about to say, like, how you finding this motivation? Because let me tell you.
I actually I'm doing old school stuff. I have a DVD set from Insanity with Sean T. And
Busting out
I
the
love
VHS
it.
Tybo.
I was gonna say Tybo. What's his name? Billy Banks, right?
Right.
It was.
So let me bust out this VHS real quick.
Well, it's so funny because, like a lot of people, you're just trying to find a little bit of sense of normalcy. And, I'm not one for working out anyway. I hate going to the gym. I absolutely hate it. The only times I ever liked working out was when I lived in Pittsburgh, actually. I lived in Pittsburgh and I went to a trainer, private trainer. He had his own studio and he only trained one person at a time. And I didn't have to think about what I was going to do. Because that's, for me, part of it is I don't have to think about what my workout's going to be that day.
Absolutely.
And I always told my trainers, here and back then, I'm always give you 100% of what I got that day. Might not be the same that you got yesterday, but I'm going to give you, I give you whatever I got. As long as you come up with the plan, don't ask me.
Yeah.
Don't ask me if I want to do, upper body, low. You just pick it.
Just tell me what to do.
Exactly. And that's the one thing. And the other thing that I don't like is I don't like when I go to the gym and I'm doing it all by myself and then, there's somebody else that's using the equipment that I want to use, because that just throws me all the way off. Like I'm not a career worker outer bodybuilder.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And so when I go, it's just like I don't. If anything messes up the mojo, it's an excuse for me not to work out.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this, but I love insanity, and it you burn anywhere between 800 to 1100 calories in an hour. And it's all calisthenics. You don't need any equipment. It's just you and the motivation and, the space. And I love it.
Sean T, he's not bad looking.
And Sean T,
so.
with his thickums. Yes.
Right.
But I do love it because, I don't know if you guys have ever done those workout things before. The thing that frustrates me about those is when you're watching it, everybody on there, number one, they all look perfect. And you don't look perfect. So that's a struggle right there, because you're like, damn, I wish my abs looked like that, or I wish my legs looked like that, or I wish I wasn't struggling like this. And what I like about this workout is so damn hard that even the people in the video, they be taking a break, they be having to stop. And it's that's real. And I love that. I love that. So it keeps me motivated and excited. And, so that's
why I like going to the gym, because I like the motivation too, but I get the motivation from the person that's just as out of shape as I am. I'm like, come on, sis. I see you doing it. I'm going to do it too. I don't need the skinny bitch on the TV who already there, trying to make, no. Good for you, boo. We ain't even in the same ball field at this point right now, okay? You in the stadium, I'm on the outside trying to get in, okay? No.
I'm like you, Dewan. When I had a the best shape I ever got in my life was when I was in Chicago, and it was because I had a trainer, and it was the same thing. I was like, I don't want to plan it. I'm already planning everything else in my day.
Right.
By the time I get out of work and stuff, I don't want to think about, okay, now I got to plan this thing. So I was like, I just want to show. I was like, here are the goals I want at the end of me paying you for however long. Right. I want to either look this way or weigh this much or whatever it may be. And I want you to come up with the game plan. I trust you because it's your job.
And I think because I think you and I are very similar in the fact of in our jobs,
yes.
Because our jobs are very strategic and analytical. And so when you spend all damn day thinking about 6 months in the future, a year in the future, a year and a half in the future, and then project planning all this stuff to kind of get to those places.
I don't want to think about shit else.
Exactly.
That's the Capricorn in me. I love it. And I coach too. So I'm always used to a practice plan. I'm always used to planning something out. This is what the season's gonna look like. This is what today is gonna look like. This is what the week gonna look like. I actually love doing it. I love planning my workout. For me, it's just having the motivation. I can sit out and work and do a workout plan. I can do a diet plan, a meal plan, and everything. It's just the motivation up in here mentally for me. That's just and like you guys, I love having a trainer just because they push me outside of my scope. It's very easy for me to get into my, 12 to 20 exercises that I know that's going to sculpt my body the way I want it to.
Yeah.
But I know they'll push me to lift heavier or do that extra set. On top of that, if I'm gonna pay you, I'm gonna get my money. So let me tell you, she gonna show up. She gonna be on time.
Absolutely.
Okay, every single time.
I know
Accountable.
that's
right. Yeah.
Seriously, that is so true.
But it's hard. It's hard finding the right trainer, though. At least for me, it was like
it's not.
I just don't.
Fine.
See, I need more than that.
Not me. Look.
I choose mine by the way they look, because like when I was in Chicago,
Same.
they tried to put me with this one guy. And there was days where I was seeing him at the gym eating like Doritos and stuff. I was like, no, I don't want to see that because
Wait,
I'm
at the gym.
Literally, like he'd be like on his break or something, and I'm like, how are you eating potato chips? Like, no, I'm paying you for this almost aspirational body type. You know, just like if you got your body right, that means you must know something. Right. And if you over there eating potato chips, nope, not it. So literally, I remember going around. I'm like, that's the trainer I want because a handsome looking guy, but his body was right. And I was like, that means he cares to take the time to get his body right. He's going to take the time to care to get me right and get my goals, especially since I'm paying you this crap ton of money. So I was like, So I agreed. Like, it can be hard to find the trainer that you want because not everybody, even though it is their job, not everybody's good at their job.
Yeah. And
oh, go ahead, baby.
I need variety. I need somebody who, is not, I don't want to be treated like a number. And I generally don't work out with like the trainers at the gym, like by the gym, because it becomes a numbers game. Or at least that's my perception. And that has been my experience in the past. But I need somebody who can give me individualized, I'm a Leo. So it needs to be about me and what I need. I don't care what you do.
Really?
Anybody else. I don't care what you eat outside of this. If we can't vibe and you can't give me what I need and you can't get it in your head that I'm paying you to come up with the plan and then I will do the work, it's not gonna work.
Not gonna work.
See, that's why I loved my gym before I moved out here to Seattle. Back in Minnesota, I used to go to Lifetime Fitness. And with Lifetime, you actually would interview with the trainers to see if they were even a fit for you.
That's good. That's smart.
So it was actually kind of like that, Dewan. You make sure that you got the person that vibed with you. Yeah. Some people just like that strict, okay, we're here to get this job done. We're here for 90 minutes or 60 minutes, and then I'll see you on the next appointed time. And then some people like myself needs a little of that, but also more of that that personality and kind of that connection of like, all right, cool, like you're gonna motivate me. I can tell you're invested because we're also having the conversation about it. You care about the outside things that I'm doing and thinking about that. So when you're planning my workout, you also know what's going on in my life outside. So like that's that's what I personally need.
I hear you on that.
But I mean, like you said, like I also need you to look the way that I'm trying to look. Like
it don't has to be in the pudding.
Yeah, like I'm just like, and this is no shame, but I'm just like, yes, you can know how fitness is supposed to go and how to get someone in shape and stuff like that. But I feel like if you lack the willpower to do it yourself, you shouldn't be telling someone else to do it.
That part.
So if they got a dad bod, they can't be a trainer.
I like a dad bod in other parts of my life, but not in me getting fit.
Right.
You have to be there after, not the before.
You better be that Adonis, that your body. I want you to take that shirt off, and I'm like, oh Jesus! Right. Like the heart fluttering, the booty hole puckering a little bit, your dick dangled going a little bit. That's what I want when I see you take your shirt off.
Oh my goodness!
Because it just shows that you care at the end of the day.
Right.
Like you care that much to do for your body. That means you're gonna take me seriously as well. Yeah. That I'm paying you these coins.
And it's advertising.
Yeah, I was gonna say it makes me believe you. It makes me believe what you're telling me to do actually works. Because I'm like, oh, I'm sure he knows this exercise because look at him. You know, I'm just gonna believe it. You know, like, and we all know it's also part of science and genetics play a role in certain type of things and stuff like that too. However, in this situation, I believe everything that's coming out of your mouth. Okay.
Yes, Lord.
Yes.
I also feel like it depends on what your fitness goals are too, because my fitness goals were never to really become like I never really wanted to put on weight. I always wanted to be more strong. Like I wanted to have
Your strength.
my preferred method is strength-based training. So I wanted to have better endurance and be a little bit more limber and
Ooh, what
to
you want this
focus more
endurance
on.
and limberness for, Dewan?
She got goals.
Okay.
I didn't say where their goals were going to be ended
Uh-huh.
up, but
Said I want
But she
endurance.
can't
I
be
want to be a little
bulky.
more limber. I want flexibility.
You said I want to do toe touches.
Right.
Well, I don't really need
That's
to
what she
do
was
that.
talking about ankles at the beginning. That's where the
That's
ankles
what it
came
was.
in.
Okay,
That's
okay.
where the ankles were coming
That's
in
where-
Hear
earlier.
what you want to hear.
Oh man. Well, community, we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube.
Yes.
So please subscribe to the
We see each
podcast
other.
and to the YouTube. Right, we see each other now.
I
And
mean,
in
y'all see
quarantine, I had to make sure my hair was a little presentable. I mean, this non-haircut life, woo. But I was like, okay,
Look, last night we all voted at the wig party to let Corey cut your hair. Look, community, slide in the DMs. Let's get Auntie Vodka to let her husband cut her hair. We need this. We need to see this. I'm campaigning for this real hard. Okay, I will not lose like Bernie.
That's gonna break the internet.
I'm gonna be like,
see that.
it's gonna be so upsetting if he messes my head. I'm gonna be so upset for a while. I know I will be. So I'm trying to save my marriage. That's what I'm really trying to do.
Look, if he is as creative with that freaking the what's the
Power
pressure-
washer?
the power washer.
That's true.
Look, girl,
That's
she
true.
gonna have you like having the crisscross zags all up in your head and stuff like that too.
Maybe that is true. Maybe it'll be this magical moment where I'm like, damn, 8 years almost. I should have had you been doing this and save some money.
Right?
We'll see. But I did say on the wig party that if I decide to let him do it, I'll either put it on like IG Live or definitely there'll be some IG story or something. Or maybe even YouTube. We're on YouTube now, so maybe it's an episode on YouTube. So who knows? I will document it for you guys. But we'll see. I'm not all the way there yet.
I do kind of love this, the unintended consequence of this shelter-in-place Corona life is
There's
that
a lot of true hair colors out there.
it's just I think when we all come back from this, people are going to look so different. Like there are going to be people that are going to be heavier, people that are going to be lighter, people that are going to that used to have like long hair that got like no hair.
Brittany 07.
Right? People that growed out beards, or shaved off them. Like I feel like when we come out of this, everyone's going to look so dramatically different.
Have you seen Diddy on IG?
Yes.
Like
Diddy,
he's extra gray.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, you've been dyeing your beard all these years, and we now finally see the true colors. True colors are in your beard.
And DJ Khaled looking a little rough.
Oh, he looked hella rough.
Yes.
What was that meme I saw of DJ Khaled?
What did they say?
Oh, it's a
You the best. It looked like
best. I'm depressed.
I'm depressed. Yes. He went from looking like you the best to I'm depressed.
His hair was going like this.
Girl, that's that struggle
Child.
life. That is that struggle life. We're
Child.
all going through it. That's the kind of funny thing about it too, though. It's like we're all going through it.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny just also like to see the trends of like things happening from like, at one point, people were doing like certain TikTok videos at home, and then all of a sudden you saw everyone trying to cut their hair, and the next wave is like now everyone's coloring their hair. Like and one of the ways that like everyone was posting, stay motivated at home, keep working out for the summertime, and now you ain't seen that shit no more.
Like summer is closed. Summer is officially closed.
Seriously.
People are just
2021.
Yeah.
It's like I work in data insights now, and so I see all the data that's out there. So you buy something at the store, the company I work for sees that and analyzes it, et cetera, et cetera. So it has been these waves. We see it in the data week by week. Like, okay, first it was a lot of the groceries and things like that, and that's starting to come down. And then now it's like getting to the hair care and shears and scarves and things like that. And we're seeing those trickling up. And hair clippers and things like that. So it's interesting to watch the data because it literally tells exactly what we're doing, exactly what we're buying. And it's been interesting to be on this side to have as much insight to the different data. The client I'm on doesn't need all of that, but I still have access to it. So it's been interesting to look at it and be like, man, we're all struggling in different areas, and it literally changes by the week.
I love how a lot of people are getting into hobbies now. You know, like either hobbies that they had or picking up new ones. Because like a lot of people are like, you know, pulling out their guitars that have been collecting dust and like, you know, playing guitars or playing the clarinet or, you know, like the tuba or whatever the hell they got.
Someone was just playing the saxophone like across the street.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like literally was like fucking Lisa Simpson over there on the end. But I was trying to take a nap though, so she was a little irritated.
Working
But like, now, like, come on now, like. But she sounded cute though, so I wasn't gonna tell them to shut the hell up. But you know,
have you picked up a new hobby, Dewan? I feel like you're not a hobbyist.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, I don't do that kind of stuff. Like I watch TV and that's it. But I'm thinking about learning a new language, I think.
See, that's why I didn't pick you last week for the painting part.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I picked Jerrell.
That is a statement. I know Corey's been painting on the porch. Like today, he's drawing on the porch, so he's picked that back up. Like he has to do something creative to get that outlet. Like absolutely has to. That's why, like he's interior decorator and all that. Like he has to get that out of him. Or he's gonna go crazy, and it's kind of cute. I'm like, oh, look at you out here just painting on the porch. Okay, bro.
I'm more of a mental creative. I think. I mean, I'm more of a mental creative when I really think about it, because I'm not necessarily a crafter. I love to cook, but I'm not a baker. You know, so like I don't like things that have me so constrained. I learned to play piano growing up. I played tennis. You know, I was very artistic. I went to fashion design school, so I drew a lot. But I don't have those urges to like express myself in that kind of with those kind of creative outlets. So I've been thinking a lot about picking up another language.
Try to learn?
I think German. I think.
Oh,
yeah.
You're gonna be spitting a lot.
Well, you know, she knows a little French, so she knows how to keep that saliva in the mouth.
Oh, okay. It goes with the endurance and the flexibility, the limberness, and the saliva.
Here comes the painting. She is a painter. She painted that picture real well.
That's on my vision board.
Okay.
What that sex life do?
Okay, now come on, speaking of Mariah, this is off subject. Have you paid attention to her IG at all? It's her 15th anniversary of Emancipation of Mimi. And so she's been doing clips of her singing. I know. I had a moment. I was like, it's been 15 years. What the hell? But she's been singing on her couch little clippets of each of songs. And so she did Fly Like a Bird. She did, was it Circles? Like songs that she hasn't sung live. And I was sitting there like, God, bitch, yes!
You know,
that album.
Look, you and I, we love that album. That album still today is so good. Like, baby, you should be mine. Again. Shit.
My God. She was singing her face off on that album.
Yeah.
She said, y'all thought I was slacking. So guess what? I'm about to bust out this Emancipation and sing my fucking face off.
That album for me is more of like my In My Feelings album. So like if Adam and I have a fight or I'm just like not feeling it or whatever, I listen to that all day on repeat. But any other day, I'm listening to Caution.
Baby, you can bring it back to. Oh my God! I'm about to play this after this podcast. Damn it!
Oh man!
Oh man! Anyway, I don't even know where to go from here. Oh, the wig party. That's what we're going to talk about.
Y'all.
Before we do that, let's just send a shout out to Landon.
Oh my! Oh,
yes. Thank you for the intro. Amazing tribute and opening. We really appreciate you.
And actually, you know what? Before we get to the wig party, for those that don't know, like Shannon, and it's kind of getting national news now. Shannon was a police officer down in Fort Lauderdale area. He was actually an acquaintance of Jerrell and I that passed from COVID-19, unfortunately. And so that's what that opening's about. But now the police chief down there had made homophobic slurs about Shannon and his death, pretty much alluding to he almost deserved to die because he was a gay male.
Yeah, it was like his homosexual experience is what caused him to get the COVID-19.
Exactly. And so we've kind of, like, if people kind of know us, like, really personally, like, we've been posting on our personal, like, Facebook and everything to have people sign a petition. I think I put it on the Minority Report Facebook page for people to sign a petition to get this guy fired. So right now I think he's on leave, which means he's still getting paid. So stay on lookout for that. I'm sure we'll probably post more about it, just because there's no room in life, especially not in professional life, to have this bias, especially when he's in a line of work that he puts himself on the line day in and
You're
day
supposed
out.
to preserve and protect, and
Absolutely.
that's not doing either one of those.
Nope. So Landon, thank you for that opening. That was sweet. Try not to cry. And but yeah, the wig party though. Thank you, community.
Yes.
Y'all showed up for that wig party. She was hungover this morning.
I'm having like hair FOMO.
Look, she look. I work from home and she was still 30 minutes late. Okay, like
I was tired too.
Look,
what time did we leave off of it? I left at maybe like 12:30. And I was like, it's getting hella late.
Yeah, because I want to say it was like 9:00 when I got off or something.
It was supposed to end at 8:30 Eastern time, but I remember looking at my clock at 9:30 Eastern time. Yeah, it started at 8 and it was supposed to end at 9:30 Eastern time, and then I looked at my clock and it was 12:43 by the time I closed the computer. I was like, okay.
And then I didn't fall asleep till like ended up talking to some more friends after that. Like they're like, oh, that was fun, and talking about it and everything after that. So I didn't even go to bed till like 2 a.m. And I had like an early meeting this morning to be on, and I was tired, like not tired today. Tired. But it was a blast.
Honestly, that was just so.
Came out. Thank you
to
everybody.
Shout out to everyone
who was able to make it, and love the fact that you guys actually participated and wore wigs, because that was like the whole. I mean, everybody had
Lamar with the Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Come on now. And then she had the puppy brush, girl. She had the puppy combing out. So community that wasn't there. She had a troll wig.
Right.
It was a troll wig that went straight up. But instead of it being straight up, she combed it to the side. Like,
she had like
to
a
the
freeze.
right. Girl.
Smithy had a lot of people had wig changes. Jerrell changed his wig like 10 times. Smithy changed his wig. Who else changed their wig? A lot of people changed their wigs. So it was a blast. So we're gonna have to do that again.
And I just appreciated the love in the room. Like just everyone was just honestly there just to have like a great time. And I felt like you really couldn't tell that people like didn't know each other. Like the way everyone just vibed, clicked, and connected the whole time through, just kikiing back and forth on different stories and stuff like that, like in questions, like, and people being real, like honest too. I love that people were giving all the juicy, okay, when DeJuan was asking some of them questions and people were, I was like,
and I mean, like, if we had a couple friends on there, and there were stories that I was learning that I was like, "Oh, girl, you ain't never said that story."
Okay.
Woo, daddy pillows. That's all I'm gonna say.
If you weren't there, y'all missed out.
Y'all missed out.
Definitely do another one. And community, like, don't miss out on the next one. Yeah, be there. It was a hell of a time. Like,
and
I probably had like 8 vodka Red Bulls. Girl, she was drinking. Girl, she was drinking.
We had, and it was great because we had a lot of people. At one point there was like 20, like 23, 24 people on at one time. So like your screen was like, everyone was like this, like the size of a quarter because it was so small on the computer screen. But it was controlled chaos. Everybody, it was like it was like that feeling when you actually have a party in your house, and
Yeah.
there were some separate conversations going, but then there were some main conversations, and every once in a
Some
while it
loud
was
conversations.
some loud conversations. There was,
There's everything.
some
Wait, are y'all talking about
accusations.
me?
You was one. You was
I
one.
was my one story. I did have my one story.
But
It
it
was
was
a
just
plan.
like it was such a good time, and for that being our first event that we threw as Minority Report, and our first event with the intention of just getting our community together, because y'all interact not only with us but with each other, through social media. But this was the first time that people got a chance to see each other face to face, literally face to face.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I can totally see people like off of like based off of certain conversations last night. I can see people will be probably adding each other on
Yes.
Facebook and follow each other on Instagram
And I
now.
feel like there might
because
be
they
a couple
follow.
of hookups here and there in the future.
You know,
Like, I was like, okay, you asking some questions
people are
there
asking
that
some
alludes
questions.
to.
We'll ask that question on the next
Yes,
one.
in about 6 months, we'll be like, okay, once we out this quarantine life.
Look. But yeah,
Oh,
just
man.
amazing time. Like I didn't know how much I needed it until we did it.
Right.
Like
Statement.
it just felt so great. Like it's good that we have our podcast. I love our podcast, but that was just a moment that embodied what the podcast stands for,
Absolutely.
that we could physically actually be a part of and everyone could be in. And it was a blessing. I was just
Yeah.
It was
beyond
also
that.
nice just to have a meeting that was like a video meeting that wasn't work related.
Yes.
It's
That
like-
part too.
I mean, it's like it's fine to have like a happy hour Zoom meeting with your coworkers, but that's nothing like, having a little virtual meeting with your duties. And that's what it felt like. It felt like people who had known each other for a long time getting together and just having a good time together.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it
So,
really
yeah.
is for everyone too, by the way. Like straight, female, white, black, whatever. If you listening, you part of the community, you
Yes.
are welcomed.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Ellen for holding it down.
She held
for
it down for the
females.
ladies.
You
Yeah, but
did.
she held it down for the ladies. She was
And
the
the
only one up
curls.
in there. Yes, and the
She
curls.
said
Yes.
these curls are popping. Stiff wear. Stiff wear. We'll definitely have to do that again. We'll
Yes.
definitely have to do that again. So, especially who knows how long the quarantine life will go. So it might be sooner than later, honestly. So.
Okay.
But all right, it's getting to that point in the episode. You know what it is. Y'all feel it in your spirit. Come on now. What time is it?
Ask
Your
Or-
aunties.
Hey.
I'm having like hair FOMO. I'm like missing out on like having hair.
That's
Yeah,
another
they-
funny part about the wig party is we were all playing in our hair.
But see, we all knew that because we behind the scenes, the community really couldn't see us, but we would see each other when we would just randomly show up with wigs on and didn't even tell each other. And then the whole time we're talking about serious stuff. We're just like combing and brushing and finagling with our braiding and all
I
that.
will say today at work I was doing that. I had on my long Beyonce wig, and so I was like randomly FaceTiming some of my colleagues, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I was just like, "So I got a question for you,"
Right.
and they were literally just dying. I could not let that wig go today. She was
That's right.
she was still stuck with her.
All right. So who has the question up today? You have it, Dewan?
Uh,
I forget
Yes,
what question
I
it was.
I did too for a second, but then I found it. Okay, I have it. Okay, this is not anonymous. Okay, yeah, it's not anonymous. So we're gonna put your business out there, Garrus. Okay, so here's the question. The question is, how do you handle when your manager tell you that when you're talking to people, you're fine, but when you're not, you don't want people to come in here thinking we hired a convict? Insinuating that when I just have a blank face, I give off that vibe.
Well, convict. Okay, the only convict that's positive is Akon. Akon music or whatever, convict music. Wow, he actually called him a convict or alluding to, which means, and we all know Garrus is a black human being.
He's a black man. What a beautiful chocolate man.
Oh wow. I feel like that's like the scapegoat. Like, I feel like whenever either people can't articulate how they want to feel or want to articulate anger or disturb someone's vibe, especially when it's between races, they always somehow allude to some kind of racist thing of what a black man is supposed to look like or a black man is supposed to act like and this and that. And it's so tired. Like, really? And it's just like, we don't say anything about your resting bitch face. And we don't allude it to be a convict or a criminal. You know, it's just like, why? Why?
Right.
Just because I don't have to smile at everybody. I'm just sitting here chilling. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. And so I'm not smiling. That means I'm a convict? It's a tired stereotype to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks to hear that still in 2020, this is still going on, especially in your work life, you know, where you're trying to make coins and things like that. And you never know who's hearing that come out the manager's mouth. They still give that perception and placing that upon him, you know? So that bothers me a lot. And I don't know how to. You want to handle it, obviously, in a way that you don't lose your job because you need to pay your bills and shit. But it's just like, if that person's the manager or the owner and things like that, who do you even bring this up to? Or do you just say, you know what, I'm out of here because I could find another job, but I can't find someone, I can't deal with someone that always like demeaning me and things like that day in, day out, because that hurts your spirit. Like, that's your energy that's affected.
I feel like, just for context, because we know Garris, but for context for the community, Garris is a bartender. So he works in a bar.
Right.
And so there is an undertone of customer service expectation that you would put on somebody that works in the service industry. So I just want to put that out there, because that may color like what advice would you give for someone to handle this particular situation?
That's true.
I'm with you, Carell. I think, you know, it's a shame that a black man's resting bitch face has to be labeled something worse. Yeah, a convict or anything else. Like, resting bitch face is resting bitch face, and it shouldn't matter your race, your age, or whatever, your sex. It shouldn't mean that it's worse than the next resting bitch face. Like, we all know what it means, and it is what it is. And I think, like, honestly, that manager just handled that whole situation just completely wrong. Like, I've worked in customer service before, and I know that, like, yeah, sometimes part of the job is, you know, that whole fake it till you make it. Like, you know, it's part of, you know, the job. But, you know, we all have those days where we can't. And as a manager, you should just also know, like, today's just not the day.
Right.
It is what it is. Get off my dick, bitch. Like, and, you know, and just let me, like, I'm here. What more do you need? Like, I could leave the job. I could not be here. I could no show. And then what? Who's that gonna help? Not
there's
you
a better
or
way
me.
to
Can I
say it.
Well,
you know?
do you guys feel like, what if, just hypothetically, and I'm not giving like a pass, I'm curious. What if hypothetically this was like just a poor choice of words? And it wasn't a reflection of ongoing behavior. I don't know the situation. I'm intimating that it is an ongoing situation because you would ask the question. But what if this was kind of like a poor choice of words?
Like, as a person who was a manager, you know, before I'm in the customer service and like in the service industry, like, you don't say those words point blank, period. You know, like, we all have HR training. We all know that there is a way to talk to someone, a way not to talk to someone. And first, he should have just came off with concerns, like, hey, are you having a bad day? Like, are you okay? Like, do you need anything? I just noticed that there's something off, you know, like, you don't seem happy or chipper. Like, act like a decent human being and ask the person, what's going on? Are you okay? Like, that should have been how it should have been handled from the get-go. Because anyone that knows Garris is an honest man. And guess what? If he's not in the mood, he ain't in the mood. He gonna let you know he's not in the mood, you know? And he also the type of person that would appreciate the thoughtfulness of asking, like, hey, boo, you know, you seem a little down today. What's going on? And the conversation alone probably would have changed his whole mood just by you showing that you care.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird, too, that he says, like, when you're talking to people, you're fine. But when you're not, we don't want it to look like we hired a convict.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like there's this perception of already having a black male in your establishment.
Right.
That
let me tell y'all.
Once you talk, it's okay because you don't sound like what a black man.
Let's actually put this place on blast. Let's put this place on blast. So this is a gay bar that caters to the typical white gay male clientele. First of all, this gay bar has basically done what Progress Bar did last summer. You know how that email went out being like, no rap music, blah, blah, blah. They don't allow that in that facility at all. I wonder if he was anonymous. No. His business. However, I'm putting out there. They also came to him about the type of music that he played as well there. But they allowed the white drag queen to play Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion, and she cussing up a storm and all the rest of this stuff. But he can't play the baby. He can't play those same songs when he bartending upstairs. Like, this place has now became that place where it's a clear issue with the queer POC community, you know. So just to put it out there in context, the place got issues to begin with.
Got it. So I don't know what is so off-putting, and I'm trying to watch my words too. Like, I still don't know how rap and just honestly Black and brown culture is still so off-putting to white folks when they listen to the same music. They dance to the same, they profit from the same music, but when we play it, it's still an issue. And there's still this negative connotation and negative perception that comes along with it, you know?
Well, that's because until they can't appropriate it, then they don't want to hear for it.
It's just, I don't know if I'll ever quite understand it, because I don't get it, because that music is clearly bringing in clientele, and it's probably honestly uplifting his spirit, where he's going to quote unquote smile more and things like that, and not have this resting bitch face that you're scared of for some damn reason, you know? So it's just like it's bizarre, and I don't want. I'm watching a little bit just for his sake, because once the quarantine's over, and if you need to go and get them coins, go back and get them coins. I don't want you to get in trouble for sending this question in.
They ain't listen to this podcast.
That is true, but
they ain't checking for us.
Just think of that.
But it's just like I it's so hard for me to understand this fear that is still associated with Black and brown culture, music-wise, dress-wise, hair-wise, everything. Yet you still try to profit some way from it, you know? Like you said, you let the white drag queens play certain music, but the second that a Black person plays it, now it's an issue. Or the second a Black person isn't smiling all the time and just chilling for a second, there's now an issue.
I would also look at somebody weird if they're smiling and talking to themselves behind the bar. I'm like, oh, she okay? She okay? I don't think I'm kicking my drink for her. No.
And I think I started to allude to it a minute ago. It almost sounds like he also has some kind of prejudice about certain way Black people talk, that when he talks, he must be fine and he must not sound Black, whatever that means. So, it's fine because you're not one of those kind of Black people. But the second you stand there, now you look like one of those Black kind of people, you know? And that's what it almost like the intertwine of that sentence of what he said is kind of alluding to me.
I don't know. Maybe it's the Leo in me, but this is in my situation, it would be like a cutter off. Like at this point, I'm done. I'm finding someplace else to work, because I'm not about to. I'm gonna teach you how to treat me one way or the other, and either I'm gonna be in the picture and you're gonna treat me right, or you know what, this is just not right for me altogether, and then you're gonna lose somebody that you're gonna lose out on having me around, and I don't know what, Garris will do in this particular situation. He's going to have to make up his own choice, because coins is coins, and, and nobody ain't working right now. So that's not an issue. But I just, in my heart of hearts, especially in the service industry, if you don't understand the value of diversity in your clientele
Staff.
and in your staff, and you don't appreciate them and and their authenticity, to the point to which you are using this kind of language, right? That to me is a sign that you're just cut that way, and that's nothing I'm ever going to say is going to change the way that you feel, the way that you think, or perhaps the way that you treat me. And so now I have to have a choice of, am I going to put up with it or am I not? And if I choose to put up with it, then that means that I'm setting myself up for ongoing frustration every time that I know that I'm going to see inklings of that behavior coming out, and that's going to make me resentful. And it's a frustrating situation to put oneself in. So if it were me, I'd be like, deuces. I'll show you my smile when I have another job.
Right. I was gonna say, I think you're right. Like, I would probably leave too, because I just know I'll end up having some resentment, and I'll end up catching a case. Like that one day where I just cannot.
You always catching a case, girl.
And I will end up busting that bitch right in her fucking face. Like, I just know, like, even nowadays, like, if I hear just a random person say something, like, I have to catch myself. Like, my reaction is automatic. Like, the fuck? Okay, calm down.
She double dutching.
Look,
the only thing that I might do before I quit, and this would be real petty, I would every single conversation, because you get chatted in by the managers, and when you're coming in for your shift and whatnot, every single time I have a conversation or I see them coming around, I would put my phone on record, and I would record every single conversation and wait for all that incriminating evidence, and then I would find a new job, and then I would quit, and then I would post all this shit on social media, so then they can't take that shit back. That's what I would do.
Yeah, it's
come on, Patty LaBelle. That's actually good.
That is Patty LaBelle. Come on, Patty LaPone.
But you don't need to have hearsay when you got a recording device on your cell phone. So just turn that bitch on.
Yeah. And it just sucks, especially within the gay community, that you still can't be your authentic self.
Oh,
but
like, it's just another thing on top of it that gives you another point of hesitation of being your true self, and that
this
sucks.
also points to the fact that we also need more spaces, for us. Like,
I was just thinking,
I'm all for like, like giving people another chance if they've messed up or whatever, and maybe their intentions were not to be in a certain way, but regardless of what their intentions are, if it's perception is 9/10 of the law. So it don't matter what you intend to do. If it is perceived as negative towards a certain community or disparaging towards another community, then that's what it is. So I get that, but it also just validates that we need more inclusive spaces that are intentionally inclusive. Yeah, I was thinking about, what's that bar in Seattle? I think it's called R Bar, or our place with the R, right? And then on the front of their door, they have like something like, this is a place of inclusivity. It doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are, what your color of your skin is, what you identify as, what your gender is. It does not matter. This is a safe place for you. And I love that. That's just. And I don't know if that's how it is for real.
It says like no homophobia, no sexism, no racism, no, like, it lists all the isms, and it's like, it is not tolerated here. This is a safe space, and everyone is welcomed.
See, I love that. I love
that too.
I love that.
And I love it when it's true, because a lot of places will say that. And that's how I still kind of feel sometimes. And I don't live there anymore, so I don't know the progress situation. But we talked about that about a year ago. Probably a little over a year ago. And it's just like, I'm not there to see if they've changed or what they've done for the community. So
they probably like, I'm so glad that we got this coronavirus. I don't have to be playing that.
that hippity hop music. but it's just like, that's what I thought progress was originally. And that's why it hurt my heart so bad when that email came out. And that's why I still struggle when I go back there to even go there, even when friends and everybody's still going back, which is their prerogative. I don't care. But it's just like, it hurt my heart because I was like, wow, finally a bar where it feels the most authentic of whatever your creed is, whatever your race is, whatever music you enjoy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. you could come here and just wild out.
Yeah.
And just to
It was great.
find out that it wasn't authentic and it wasn't completely true, that's why I still struggle. I don't live there anymore, so it's not that hard for me not to show up. But I feel like if I were there, it would be the struggle because you kind of yearn for that feeling again, honestly. And maybe it's back. I don't know what they've done. Like I said, I haven't followed up on that case that they've done what they said they were going to do after that situation. And so maybe
Chicago community, you let us know. Before
exactly.
Corona hit, before the Rona,
that Rona.
Were they making strides?
Right.
Did you see any actions that demonstrated that they have learned from their mistakes? Or
besides playing rap music, like that doesn't show that they've changed.
In the community. In the community, have you guys seen it? Like, we would love a report from the community.
Absolutely. So it just sucks to hear like another bar that at least maybe originally Garris felt comfortable working at and excited to go in and work at, and to find out it might not be true. That hurts. You know? So it's like, yeah, you get angry and things like that, but the root of that is honestly you're hurt because you thought it was one thing and it's not. Yeah. And now you're having to decide what to do because you originally enjoyed it and it's hurting your coin purse. And it's like, can I find another job that maybe pays as much, or, you know? And so that's the hard and upsetting part of it. And it's just like, unless the manager leaves, yeah, you might have to go and find something that's a little more true to what you want it to be, so you could be true to the clientele, honestly. Yeah. So, but continue to send your Ask Your Auntie questions. We love that you guys send it. Send them in. We still have a lot out there, so if you haven't heard it, we'll get to it. But continue to send those Ask Your Aunties in. So and honestly, this Ask Your Aunties kind of makes me think of like the situation that's going on with that Rona, where they're telling the communities, the world, to wear masks now. Mm-hmm. And now you're seeing cases where Black and brown men going to the store with their masks on and getting kicked out the store because they have masks on because they feel whoever in the store feels threatened by a Black man in a mask. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because, not funny, it's ironic or sad because like even like, so Corey and I have masks, like my job gave me 2 masks and I was like, okay, awesome. But honestly, you shouldn't wear that mask every single time because if there are viruses on it, it's going to be on the front of that mask and you can't really disinfect an N95 mask. You got to throw them away and get a new one. So I ordered bandanas, but my thought process when ordering the bandana, it shouldn't have taken me this long to order a damn bandana. Like, because literally I was like, okay, what colors if I wear to the store that they're not going to think I'm gang related or affiliated? What colors can I wear in that's going to be least threatening? What colors is it going to be that I don't look too gay? Like, it was literally this crazy thought process for a fucking bandana. And literally what I ended up, I wore it at the wig party. I have it right here. I put it on YouTube so you guys can see. I ended up with this one. It's like a green one with like yellow on it. Because I was just like, okay, I don't think it's associated with any gang or anything. I don't think it's associated. It's not too effeminate, but it's feminine enough. But like, I was like, that's sad that I had to literally go through this thought process to spend my coins on the bandana to protect myself from the coronavirus. Like, how in 2020 is that my thought process? And literally when I thought that, I was like, okay, Carol, you overhyping it. And literally that day in the news, 2 dudes got kicked out of Walmart for wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, Carol, you weren't tripping. Literally it just happened. And earlier you were talking about representation and being in these places of power, quote unquote. The mayor of Atlanta is a Black female, Keisha Bottoms. Hey, Keisha. And she saw that same thing on social media, and that day put I don't know what you call it, like an amendment to the law where police officers cannot kick people out of stores and things like that for wearing a mask in public. I think she had to do an amendment for like 90 days or something like that. And when she did that, I was like, that right there shows you the importance of being in seats of power, whether it be mayor, Congress, school boards, whatever, job, CEO, managers of a bar, to be able to say, nope, I'm protecting my community because of these biases and this racism that you guys are imposing on my community. And like, I saw that and I was like, thank you, Keisha, because if it was like a white mayor or something, that probably wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. Nope. And the cases of being kicked out of public places just because you're trying to get some groceries,
right?
It would have kept going on. So I loved that. Literally, she saw it, and that was her caption on IG. She put the amendment on her IG, said, "I saw that same viral case that the world saw, and I did something about it. And we need more seats at the table because people are crazy still out there for wearing a mask to protect ourselves." And I think there was a tweet out there that said, "If I wear a mask, I'm scared for my life. If I don't wear a mask, I'm scared for my life." Like, how do
so what you gonna do?
Yeah, when I saw that, like, it's sad, but like my initial reaction was just like, wasn't like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened. You know, and that's sad. Like, that shouldn't be a norm, especially as a black man, to be not shocked or surprised that something like this happens. I mean, you know, like my mask luckily is one of the surgical masks, you know, so it's at least less, you know, harmful or,
but I think
you know,
the guys that got kicked out had
people.
a surgical mask on. It wasn't even a bandana.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know, so like I didn't think about it personally for me because I was like, okay, this is an actual surgical mask. Like everyone got these damn things, you know? But so to see that it was like that just kind of broke my heart. But I mean, like, hell, I mean, we kind of went through this with hoodies. Like, like, I mean, right now, I rarely will wear a hoodie outside of my home because of the fact that I know that I'm going to get certain kind of looks because I'm wearing a hoodie.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like, and it just breaks my heart that there are so many people out there, especially like non-black folks, that aren't aware that this is happening to black men. Yeah. You know, like this is a real thing. This is not a one-off thing. This is a very common thing for black men to be profiled for all sorts of kinds of reasons. I can't tell you, I've been pulled over twice in my life because I met the description of a man and I was in a car, but the car that I was in both times didn't match the description of the car that the man was in. But from the window seat, from the chest up, I matched the description of the motherfucker that you are trying to look for. Like, are you kidding me? Like, they will find any kind of reason to profile a black man. And it was funny. I was like, I started talking to the officer and I was like, dude, I'm gay as fuck. Like, I know you hear this list coming out off my tongue. You know, like, I know you hear this. Like, you know good and damn well that I'm not your person, but you, guess what? All you saw was my face and you saw my skin tone, and that was the only thing that connected your brain to think this way.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I'm 6'2", like 2, I'm about to put all my weight out there. And so, like, just even my build sometimes and my voice, you know, I'm so hyper aware of it, right, wrong, or indifferent, and that shouldn't be the case, you know, and it sucks. And a lot of people, and I think once people know me and things like that, people are like, oh, Carl, you would never do anything, or you wouldn't hurt fly, you know, it's like, yes, you know me. However, like you said, if you get pulled over, he don't know me from jack. And if he has some weird bias in his head, and here's this tall dude that's black, you know, with a mask on or a bandana, they're just going to do what they feel like doing because that's been the case since the beginning of the country. And that's what sucks. Here it is, another situation where the world is on lockdown over a virus that is killing specifically our community. And we can't even wear something to protect ourselves now. We can't even go to the grocery store and get kicked out. Like, it's so infuriating.
I do on the positive side, I do appreciate the fact that we at least now have technology that allows us in our own phones, we can record every damn thing, and people are getting really smart about it, you know. So, you know, the reality of it is that this kind of treatment has been going on for such a long time, but it's never gotten the national attention in the way that it's getting in these last couple of years. Why? Well, because people weren't recording this stuff happening, but now they're doing it. So it's not like, oh, all of a sudden, you know, the you know, like park patties and the
barbecue veggies.
right,
and the Karens,
and
and the
Karens.
Karens out
I
there.
was gonna say garbage pail Gabbies.
Junkyard Julies.
Right,
And...
exactly. Like this shit has been going on for decades,
Centuries.
white women and white men calling the police on black people while they're being black, doing something they think that the person they're calling the police on shouldn't be doing, that they think. Not because they're doing something illegal or they're doing something that was worthy of a police call, but no, they're just living life being black. These people were going to Walmart to get supplies because they're
Walmart.
And
so
like black folks are always in Walmart.
So but again, the silver lining is the fact that people have cell phones and they are using it. So, I'm glad that this got the attention that it has. I'm glad that it's gone viral so that other cities, other states, and Walmart is now put on blast because it's their establishment.
Yep.
It's so these businesses that have these incidents that are happening, they're not being called to the carpet.
Yep.
When that thing went down with Starbucks, they had to close down all their stores
Close that
for a
shit down.
whole damn day so that everybody can go through sensitivity training. And whether it did any damn to change anybody's minds, it hurt them pocketbooks. I bet you that.
Sure did.
I bet the investors and the board of directors are really pissed about losing a full day's worth of work and a full day worth of revenue. So that hurt them really bad.
And having to pay the trainers.
And on top of everything else.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I keep thinking about what is the silver lining and what is the benefit that's happening out of this. And the fact of the matter is that the reason we hear this kind of story is because somebody got their cell phone out.
Yeah.
And they said, I'm putting this shit out there.
And
And then we also had the mayor go into action. So, having, to your point, Carell, having more people with seats at the table allows those individuals to be able to put protections in place so that this kind of stuff doesn't happen again. And we're just chipping away at that systemic racism that's baked into, our legislative process,
our laws,
the
our
foundation of this country.
And this just goes to show every single one of y'all who look at voting, particularly in your local markets, there's a time and place for a conversation about what's happening at the national level with the presidency, but more importantly, when you are voting people in that look like you, that come from where you come from, that have your perspective, that understand your struggles and can represent, and the platforms that they're on can represent your points of view, it is your right. And it is your responsibility to make sure that you are putting your vote where it matters the most, and that's in these local elections.
Absolutely. So, yes, 2020 is huge, and you better get out there and vote. Make sure, and I haven't said this in a while, make sure that you are still registered because they are purging people out of the books. So do that now. You're chilling at the crib. You ain't got nothing else to do. You don't look at Pornhub enough. You've been on Facebook enough. Look at your voting record and make sure that you're still registered. Go to vote.com, vote.org, vote.gov. Look at those and make sure you're still registered. But damn, I went on that tangent and forgot what I was about to say. Yeah. Anyway.
What the other ass backwards shit happening around Rona, like in Michigan, for instance? Like
my home state, girl.
Girl, when I saw that, and the fact that they're showing up at the Capitol with one Confederate flag.
So explain for the community what's going on.
And guns. Okay, so there's been this huge protest at the Capitol in Michigan because people are over the fact that the governor has extended the stay home. They want them to cancel the stay at home, and they want them to open back up the state so people can start working again.
It's literally one of the strictest now in the country. And I knew it was coming because I'm trying to think if I want to put my business out there. I just have friends and relatives and things like that that still live in Michigan that
are they over it too?
The governor's position. Let's just say it like that.
They over it.
And so even like before when just talking to them and hearing them upset, we can't do this, or we can't go and get Home Depot to get like garden hoses and things like that. I'm like, you ain't gardened all your life. What you need a garden hose for? Like, what
Didn't
you
it just
doing? You
know?
ain't playing
Didn't it
shit your
just
whole
know?
life.
It just snowed. Like, I know you don't need it.
Seriously, it's like it just snowed up there. So you don't need to be out there no way. But it just shows that this country was built in favor of certain people, and whenever they feel like they can't do whatever the hell they want to, whether it's good for them or bad for them, shit hits the fan every single time. And so for them to show up to the Capitol with guns and Confederate flags, it's no longer about the Rona. The underlying racism shows up every single time. Like, what are the guns and the flag have to do about?
They're flexing their white privilege. That's the takeaway.
That's exactly what they're doing. And so it's just like, and then the sucky part too is they shut down the grounds around it, by one of the business hospitals in that region, not just like the city, that region, because it's Lansing, Michigan, but around Lansing is the middle of nowhere, Michigan. Yeah, so I'm from this area, so I know. And shutting this down for the hospitals, and then now you're congregating where COVID is probably going to spread now, and then in a week you're going to go to that same hospital that you were just protesting. Stay your ass home. And the thing is, it's even crazy that some of them were wearing guns and Confederate flags with masks on. Right. So that shows that you know this is something serious, but you just want to be a bitch. You just want to be an asshole and protest some shit because you can't go to Home Depot tomorrow.
I love how like these people that do these like KKK rallies are like some of the ugliest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, like they look like they are the dullest knives in the knife drawer. It's just, I remember seeing the picture of them like outside on the in the steps of City Hall or wherever they were, and I was just like, these hillbilly, no teeth having, Tiger King looking motherfuckers.
Okay, come on now.
Out of all the people to want to be like flexing, like you,
let's stay your ass home. And it was interesting too. Like, so obviously I put like a little, like, not even a rant, but like I always on my Facebook just pose questions just to see what people are going to say, because a lot of it just doesn't make logical sense to me. So I want to see people try to make logical sense out of it. But one of my friends from college, she was like, it also shows just almost the sexism that is occurring in Michigan as well, because it's a female governor now. Yeah. And it's this hyper masculinity again, getting their feelings hurt, getting their ego hurt, that a woman told them to do something that they wanted to do.
Yeah, and I feel that. I feel there's a lot of I was like watching this documentary, I think it was like a couple days ago, and they were talking about this undercurrent of like within the white culture, because that's essentially what we're talking about, like no sense in beating around the bush. And not all, so I'm not saying that this is everyone, and this is not my words, but just synopsizing from the documentary, that there is an unrest that is happening because of the loss of prominence in the white community, because of the treatment that has been placed on black and brown people, and more importantly, people of color, not just black and brown people, but people of color, and the need for equity, not just equality, but the need for equity in treatment and access and all these things, that is chipping away at this stronghold that they've had for so long. And
it's the beginning of the country.
And the killer part about it is the people that are speaking out about it the most are the people that are actually benefiting from the same things that they are protesting against. A lot of these people that have these KKK rallies, guess what? Good 60-70% of those people are on welfare. Well, what the hell is that? That's a social program put in place by the Democratic Party.
And so it's the social program that you just got your $1,200 in your bank account.
So it's just like, it's like the hypocrisy, but you have these talking heads in the government and, you know, on Fox News and things that are continuing to stir the pot, because it's one of the oldest tricks in the book, and they talk about it in The Art of War, if you've ever read it. The biggest way to remain in power is to divide and conquer. Absolutely. So if you can find divisive issues within the general public that is so polarizing, that will keep people fighting with each other so that you then remain in power. And that's exactly what's happening here.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And to say I'm surprised would not be the truth, because I know where I grew up. I saw it growing up. It's still there when I go home. I mean, it's still everywhere you go. So it's not even just Michigan. It's not just picking on Michigan. It's happening in Ohio right now. It's happening in Georgia right now. It's happening all across the country. We see old boy who's in the White House.
Kids, hide your wives.
Because they're getting everybody out here.
Everybody.
So,
Real.
I mean, I understand being frustrated.
Absolutely.
But like, misplacing your frustration is just not the answer. Yes, like, be angry, but just don't lash out at the people that are protecting you. Especially it ain't their damn fault. Like,
right.
They ain't the ones that created Rona to begin with. So I don't even know why you mad at them.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, you nailed it. It's just like, we're all in this. We're all frustrated. We want to go outside, damn it. But you gotta use common sense, and you can't go outside. You gonna get sick. It's either you can sick. If you won't get sick, go outside then.
Mm-hmm.
Go outside.
Look what happened to them pastors that refused to, close their churches and had these hundreds of people come to their church for service. And now what?
Pastors. And then I just saw on I think the Advocate, like, more people from the white party in Miami just died. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. Okay, you want to do what you want to do in this craziness? Okay, go ahead. But there's also consequences to your actions.
Mm-hmm. And
you better not show up to that same hospital that you just blocked yesterday. I can tell you that.
And the killer part about it is that, a lot of the rhetoric, rightfully so, and the advice that we've been hearing is not even about you. It's about the people that are around you that you are also putting at risk. So all these people that are saying, oh, I'm healthy, I don't have any underlying health conditions that would make me susceptible, and blah, 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 or I just don't believe it. I don't believe the hype or whatever, so I'm just going to go out and do my thing, but the interesting thing is, yes, it may not impact you in the same way. You might be a carrier and not have any symptoms. Mm-hmm. And so then what happens is you go out and do your thing, and then you come around your grandmother, you come around your whatever, you're touching things in your house, you're not washing your hands, you're not doing the things to protect, and then people in your family that are close to you, people in your building, on your block, at your post office, at your school, or wherever, then end up catch the shit that you brought to them. And
look,
that's the problem.
If you don't understand COVID-19 at this point, I'm gonna need God to do His work, and you can just remove you, okay? like this is how I would love Rona to work. Just weed out the dumb, okay?
Seriously.
Just make room for more better people, because it literally is. You got to watch out for the dumb ones. You got to watch out for the ones who literally think that this is a conspiracy that the government has made up, and that they're killing people in the hospitals, and they're not dying from actual disease. That they're killing them. What the fuck? You know what?
It's a lot. And it just shows you that they either haven't had people affected yet. Like, the second you have, like, your uncle, like, in the hospital on a respirator and a ventilator, you have a friend that died. Like, it does something to you. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's why I'm like so hype about it, because I've had people like in my circle affected by this, and to see dumb asses like this, and it's just extending the time we got to stay in the crib.
Yeah.
And so that's frustrating. Like, we all want to get out. So stay in the damn crib. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Some people ain't never some people were never on punishment as a kid, so they don't know how to deal with this to begin with. If you've never been on punishment, this is brand new to you. So you don't know how to just sit your ass on like up.
Right.
I can't come outside today. I'm grounded. I'm on punishment. We can talk to the window.
The whole world is just passing you by. The whole world is just passing by.
And then nobody got a whooping as a kid. That's what that is. They got a whooping and your Nintendo taken. Not just one or the other. Both happened.
We knew.
But then you have things like in Ohio, where the governor there is saying, "Oh, well, we're going to be open by May 1st." Like,
okay,
how can you be so reckless as to this is a person that is elected to serve the interests of their state. They haven't even hit their
serve the interest of the pocketbook.
Well, that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing. But at the end of the day, if half of your people end up dying off because you decided to open and people think it's fine or whatever, and they go out, like, I don't understand how you could even sleep at night having those words come out of your mouth.
But
No,
anyway,
stay
ass in the crib.
I'm over on it. I was supposed to be going to Chicago this past weekend, and you know what? Actually, let me read Alaska Airlines real quick. So, paid for 2 tickets round trip from Seattle to Chicago via Alaska Airlines for less than $250 for 2 tickets round trip. Let me tell you, that is a fucking steal. Okay, like a fucking steal. So I call them and I'm like, well, because of COVID-19 and the stay at home, like, it's just for safety reasons, I do not want to take this trip. So can I either change my flight to another day, or can I have my money back, or can you give me credit so I can just buy another ticket at a different time? His name is not Jared. He gave me a fake ass name, first of all. Okay. But Jared is going to tell me the only thing I can do is change my flight. So I'm like, you know what? Okay. Sure. Why not? I'm going to change it to like a weekend in September. I wanted it on a Friday like it's supposed to be.
Right.
I wanted the same time like it originally was, to the same location, ain't shit changing but the actual date and the planes and the pilots or whoever, that stuff. This motherfucker says it's gonna be a $637 flight change fee to change your ticket. I said, who? Oh no. So fuck Alaska, fuck all these other airlines that are robbing people of their money because they want to protect themselves and protect others, protect your fucking employees that are operating the goddamn planes, and stay at home. Like, and you want to charge me almost 3 times as much as I paid for the fucking ticket?
Right.
No. Yeah, that's not right.
That's
not right.
I would call back.
Oh, the bitch hung up on me. So after we're done recording this, I'm definitely calling them back too. You damn right.
And I'm asking
this is new. For Jared, this is new.
This is new.
The presses right here.
Absolutely right.
That's not good. That's not good at all. Like, I know, like, a lot of us have had like flights. I've had two trips that I needed to cancel, specifically in April.
And I have a third one coming up already in May now.
Yeah, I have one coming up in the beginning of May and another one in like the middle of May. And so I remember, like, when they first started, like, this thing first started happening, I was like, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then, I got a notice that they're waiving the change fees or whatever. And so I went in, I canceled all my flights or whatever. And then, they gave me credits, and then the credits was for 12 months. Yeah. And then subsequent to that, I received emails from the 2 airlines that I booked on. And they were saying that they're extending. Actually, no, I take that back. On one airline, they're extending the credit for 24 months. So I don't have to use it within a year. And the other one, they just gave me a refund.
I'm going to need to check. Because mine was the credits for 12 months as well. And I was like, who knows how long this is going to go?
Yeah, a lot of the major airlines are coming back and saying they're just going to, instead of holding as a credit, they're just going to reimburse the money because
I'd rather have my money back.
Yeah. But that's unfortunate that Alaska Airlines is not doing the similar thing.
I'm on Alaska.
Look, all I know is Jared and customer service better be clocked the fuck out when I call back.
I know that's right. Once you get Jared again.
Lord, let it be Jared. Let it be Jared. He went to Jared.
Sure did, bitch. Sure did.
What is that? Did you guys see that? There's that IG channel, that chick that does the call center chronicles. I think her name is like, damn, what is her name? Call center chronicles, but she does a character called Nino.
I haven't seen that one. There's some good IGs out there now. People are creative as hell right now.
They
I'm loving
really
it.
are, for
I'm
sure.
loving
You know what's funny to see on IG? Are all these
Here it
IG,
Yeah.
the Instagram hoes, like pressing extra hard to
They
try to
giving them
keep their
discounts for
clientele.
OnlyFans.
Look, man, I'm like OnlyFans for $2.50.
I'm like, okay, I can
I
afford
might
that.
think about it. I might think about it. What's $2.50? You know,
Right,
shit.
exactly.
That's a local brand. Come on now, boom.
Like, okay, I've always been curious what you got packing there. Okay, $250, I can do that. 30 days for $250.
I look, they be posting extra. They be extra hard.
Extra
I be
thirst
dying.
traps.
I'm like, you know
and
what?
they trapped my ass.
They got my
see.
guns.
They done got me a couple times.
Well, if you guys want a little treat, it's called the letter N, great underscore the doll. N great underscore the doll. And it's on IG, and she does these call center chronicles, and she has a character called Nino. It's her, but she got a beard on. and she pretend like the people on the other line. She does the
Right.
customer, and she plays the call center representative.
Up
But the
there,
call
cool.
center representative is always got an attitude. And then when she's always saying, no, I can't do that, I can't give you your money back. And then they always ask for her to spell her name, and she gives her name, basically tell them, that N is for no, I is for I'm, N is for no, and then O is for obligated or whatever, to give you your money back. Like every single
it.
one. So you
I'm
guys
here
have to
for
check
it.
that out.
I done wrote that down. I'm gonna check
Look,
that out.
I'm gonna have to watch that afterwards. Otherwise, I'm gonna be they're gonna hang up on me again. I just want my money back.
But that's really, if that doesn't get anywhere, you should like email,
Yeah.
get the emails of like the CEO and like
Know what
post
you
on their
do? Go
website
on Twitter
and
too.
Facebook, yep, and you post your information on there, and you'll get action.
Absolutely. I did it once with Delta on Twitter. I was like, okay, you want to play? Let me go to Twitter then. Twitter will act a fool real quick.
Real quick.
And they DM'd me on Twitter like, hello, sir. Sorry for your experience. I was like, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
But it's sad that you have to even go to those lengths. Like, you're supposed to just do the right thing in the first place.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But-
So.
Well, anyway, but you know what? I am excited. So, community, we told you what was coming back.
Yep. And
So
if you didn't watch it, it's on you.
Watch it by now. Because Insecure is back, bitch.
Yeah.
All the way back. All the way back.
Girl, let me tell you. First of all, Sunday, like when it premiered, I was like in my feelings that day anyways. Like, I was just having one of those Rona days. I'm like, fuck, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm so over this shit. Like, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's like 70 degrees, pure sunshine. Like, fuck. Man, as soon as I heard that intro, bitch,
Right.
and I heard that blackity black music, bitch, I was like, oh shit, bitch. Oh.
Everything.
First of all,
Can we just talk
All I
about the
know
first
is-
5 minutes where she says, "Oh, I'm not fucking with Molly no more"? She dropped that bomb.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
I was just like, and then didn't even touch it the whole episode.
Yeah, they just had 4 months earlier.
Right. I'm like, they're coming at us
Yeah.
hard already.
Already.
yeah. All I know is what's her name? Not Kelly. What's the one that Amanda Seals plays? What's her character name?
What is her
Mallory?
character name?
No, not Molly.
Nope,
No.
not Molly.
No. Hold on.
Alexa?
She's about to look it up. I'm
Alexa?
about to look it up right the fuck now because she would have got her ass
Girl.
whooped
Right?
right in that place. What's her name? Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Bitch.
Tiffany.
When Issa was like, she was like, when the girl was like, oh yeah, like my new man, bought me these flowers, blah 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 blah. She's like, oh, and Tiffany, she was wrong. She's like, wait, you're
Right.
talking about that one date you went on that I
That
didn't
one
know
time?
about,
Right.
and then she had the nerve to tell Issa it was nothing. Like, that ain't your place. You should have told your girl that your other girl was dating your ex.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely.
Girl,
Especially if they working together like that.
yes.
Like,
I
hey,
do
yo,
kind
no,
of feel
Issa-
like I do, because they kind of set it up a little bit with the last season
Yeah.
that there was a fallout with the friend group, and
Yeah.
people are
Yes.
starting to pick sides. So I
Mhm.
wasn't as surprised by that, because I got the sense from that little exchange. Number one, that was her only scene, and well, not basically the main scene that she had for the whole
Yeah.
episode,
Yeah.
at least speaking wise. And then and I felt like they just weren't close. You can get a sense from that first episode that something that whether it's
Every
the
from the baby
baby
shower, every
and
since
all
the
that, it's
baby
just
shower,
there's
yeah,
been
you knew there was
distancing.
separation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought that was real bogus. I will say though, I like the dynamic, or like how they focus on like that new friendship with Issa and the girl that's new. Like you can tell that it was just two sisters that were really vibing, that really wanted to be friends. And I like how you can just see a little bit disruption in their like their friendship.
Yeah.
And it was almost like watching like a couple kind of fight in a sense.
Yeah.
You know? Like
It
it
was
was
very
oh,
well
like you,
written,
but I
very
just
well acted.
yeah, like that just I actually really appreciate that. I was like, I'm rooting for y'all.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for y'all. And then like to see the preview for what just would have came out yesterday.
Yes.
Like seeing them and seeing like Molly like tripping, like, oh, you're hanging out with her, and they were hee and ha. Like it was just cool
And
to see
that's
like
some real
they don't
shit.
gotta
Like,
fight.
That's like some real life stuff. Like
Mhm.
that happens, you
Yes.
know? I loved I forget how well, and I say it and I can't remember us. Oh well, I guess this is a new season. We haven't been on the air since Insecure had left season
Yeah,
3.
true. Mm-hmm.
They light black people up so well on
Yeah.
this show.
Yes, they do.
100%.
Like, it might be
In all
this
settings.
and Dear White People, like, are the two shows that
Yeah.
I'm like, you just like the undertones come out, like everything. Like I don't know who's ahead of their lighting. They do so well at that. I love Kelly. Kelly is so funny
I
to me.
love Kelly.
Love
That
She's just a
She's
scene
like, do we
stealer.
approve?
She is a
Should I get
scene
that
stealer
money?
for
She's
real.
like,
Uh-huh.
She's like, like, you don't need me to take one for the team. I will.
I will.
And
And
that
the
daddy was
cover-
kind of cute, low key.
Right. And the killer part about it is most of her lines are ad lib. They
Yeah.
basically give her vibe and then she just riffs.
Just
So
kills
all the
it.
shit that she comes up with is literally just
Absolutely. And then I like when that everybody go puts it like this.
at the fundraiser.
Oh, okay. And the old girl that lives upstairs was the reason why they played that song. I thought that was hilarious.
She came out. She said, "Do you want legs? Or you want tits?"
Right.
You walk by and
He was
tits.
like, this.
He said
See,
this.
I told you.
I
She
love
was
that
like,
they have-
my brother's gay, so is his daddy. So
Right.
But I do. What's underrated is I love the relationship between Issa and her brother because they don't really explain it, like what happened, because they're like, they're related, but it's almost like they're like half brother and sister. Like they don't have that close of a relationship, but they have an understanding, because they never hang out at all.
Yeah.
So like, he just kind of comes in and comes out, and he always does like these like outlandish kind of like portrayals.
Yeah.
It's just really fascinating that in the smallest of roles that they have on the show, there's still so much substance.
Nuance. Yeah.
Yes.
And they got a big brother this season.
I was about to
Banging
say,
Issa
shout
out.
out to him.
Yes.
Look,
Big
shout
brother,
out to
come
him.
on now.
And she had the fan on. She goes, "You ain't never had a fan before." That's how
And he did it right. He came with that bottle of Hennessy and that weed. Like, here you go. I was like,
Go.
that's how a man's supposed to do it. Lay it down and give me gifts afterwards.
I was like,
Oh.
that's right.
I was when they were showing the sex scene or whatever. I was just like, "Damn, don't hurt this guy's feeling." But like, he was like, they were on the same damn page. They were just
Absolutely.
fucking around, and he was like. And he was so unapologetic about what he was bringing to the table, and I loved that. I loved
And
that.
I guess it's going to be around the whole season because I follow the writers on IG because I'm a nerd like that. And one of the guys was like, he steals like the scenes all season long, and I was like, okay, that means he's going to be around. Okay,
It's lit in here.
right? He's like, oh, so
Can you
I'm
believe
glad we're
they
getting
packed-
10 episodes this season
Thank
instead
you.
of 8. I know Issa told us to calm the fuck down and stop asking for longer episodes, but girl, you just so good at your craft. We can't help it, girl. We can't help it. And I die every season for the soundtrack that she does for this season
Yeah,
because
it's
the
amazing.
music
It's
is just
amazing.
black. It's a mood.
It
I'll
is.
they
always
started the season with Tyler the Creator. Like,
Yeah.
y'all, I know y'all slept on the what performance was it?
I
Y'all,
looked at it. It was the Grammys. I was like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Tyler, the Creator, is it, man.
I downloaded that song because of Insecure, because it just gave me a mood, and I was like, okay, I get this, like, oh, good.
Even though the episodes are only 30 minutes, they pack so much into those 30 minutes. Like, you think it's an hour because of all the stuff that happens within those 30 minutes. It's so good.
I just hope we see Daniel's ass cheeks again. That's all I want.
Girl.
I want to see them cheeks again.
Adi.
Bitch, just.
That's chocolate goodness.
What's interesting?
That's like that 72% cocoa chocolate.
It's really interesting that they that she got upset about Lawrence dating, her friend, or her friend dating Lawrence. That just goes to show that there's still some feelings there. Absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see.
I don't think she was upset. I just think she was just like,
I think it was just taken aback a little bit.
Yeah, it's weird.
Right, because I think it's just the whole like one of those small world things. It's like, damn, and all the people that he could have moved on with, he had to move on with the one person that I'm actually trying to do something with and that I'm vibing with. I think it was more so that than actually them dating, because you see towards at the end of the episode, she actually she's like, whatever, I'm tripping, like, this ain't no issue anymore.
Yeah,
and that because Molly was the one who was like, why you still talking to her, like, why is she here, like.
I guess the point that I was trying to make was that's all right. The point that I was trying to make was, when you think about, because the premise of the whole season, the show, is that it's showing people in their 30s, their early 30s. So they've come out of their late 20s, they're going to their early 30s. Everything's about a vibe of this, and it's about them figuring out who they are and really coming into their own. And it's just interesting because you get to see an accurate portrayal of somebody dealing with that kind of a situation and trying to navigate it in the moment. Like, what I saw is someone who still has unprocessed feelings. Doesn't necessarily mean that they want to get back with that person, but they still have unprocessed feelings about that person that now have transferred, and they're bringing that into this relationship that they have with this new friend that they have, and they're trying to figure out, what the fuck do I even do with this? I don't even know what to say, because I've never been in this situation before. And we as viewers get to see her figuring that out. And I think that's the beauty of this show. You get to see real people getting put into real relatable situations that they don't know what the fuck to do. It's just like people that send us to Ask Your Aunties. They're in real life situations, and they're like, I've never been in this situation before. What the hell do I do?
And sometimes we don't know neither, but we're going to talk it through. But I also even though he was in the latter part of last season, what they call, at least what Twitter's dubbing as Asian Bae, he's handsome as hell.
He is. Look, I love his energy. His energy is just, I love the swag. He just has all this confidence. He told Molly, he was like, yeah, I'm seeing other people. Her face fell.
That scene was acted so real.
It was.
That was such a good scene. She was like, and then they hit her. She's like, oh shit, hold on. Okay, I feel like this. But he's a Chinese Australian actor. I looked it up. His name is Alexander Hodge, and he got into the industry because he suffered a knee injury career because he was a professional rugby player. So what means is he probably got body underneath them clothes. So hopefully we get a scene, because they be exploiting the men on Insecure.
Oh, they sure did. They didn't waste no time showing Lawrence.
So I'm hoping we get Asian Bae. I hate that they dubbed him that now, but I hope to get that him little ass shot or whatever in the scenes, because they already did 3 or 4 of them in the first episode.
We saw Lawrence cheeks bam,
bam,
just
bam,
like that. I was like, and I wasn't mad.
We got Big Brother's ass out there. We got Issa Rae's ass out there. It was just a whole lot of skin.
I ain't gonna lie, it was funny. That sex scene that Issa was doing with the cop guy, it reminded me of that scene from Waiting to Exhale, with homegirls having sex with the bigger dude. And she's like,
oh, yeah.
That scene totally reminded me of that. And I just could not help but laugh. I was like, my God.
But community, if you ain't watched it, you better catch up. Because I'm sure we're going to talk about it for all 10 weeks.
Every damn week.
So, like we did Pose. It is what it is. So
Yeah.
we'll put the timestamps in in the podcast and the YouTube for you to fast forward because we are going to talk about it. So,
And
At
there's
this point,
also-
you 2 episodes behind.
yeah, exactly. At this point, right.
2.
absolutely.
Mm.
So you
And there's
got some
also the
time.
Michael Jordan docuseries that
That
starts
part,
as well.
yes,
So
that starts. I started yesterday. I guess.
it started yesterday. So
That's another
get
one.
on that as well because that's going to be
Absolutely.
the event of that's going to be a lot of good TV.
Especially for us craving sports right now, man. Woo, I'm missing it.
What is ESPN doing right now? Are they showing reruns?
Reruns
And
of like
they show horse.
different-
Like a couple people are playing horse right now, which is okay. Like it was like Chris Paul and like it's like everybody's on Zoom and everything, so the camera quality ain't there and it's freezing up here and there. And I'm
They've
like,
also been playing like
this
some 2K tournaments too. Like you'll see
Yeah.
people playing 2K, like basketball, you know.
and like
on
the
there
race
as
car
well.
driver that dropped the N-word on live, that's happening. He
Yeah.
got fired, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Bye,
did.
bitch.
And that was a mixed Asian
That's the crazy
Caucasian.
thing.
That's
Like,
so.
man.
And if you guys have listened to the audio, like if
It's
you
great.
heard the audio, you can tell that he felt really comfortable because he didn't even know he was on camera.
Yeah, he
So-
thought he was like offline now. And I was
right.
like,
So he was just like, it just slipped out like you saying peanut butter.
Mm-hmm. He said, "Hey," and word.
It was way too comfortable.
Yeah.
That was not his first time. We know that for a fact.
Oh, but he got fired with the quickness. So
and,
bye, girl.
and lost
There's your
lost
career.
all of his endorsements.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And lost
And he
all
was
of his
only
endorsements.
27, I think.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm welcome to the real world now. I'll see you at work on Monday.
Again, I keep going back. Like that camera in your phone is your biggest ally.
Yeah.
Put people on blast.
Act a fool if you want to, but
and suffer the consequences.
absolutely.
Act
But,
the fool. That
Well,
could help us.
come on, Luda.
Yes.
Wait, but yeah, Luda.
It's Luda.
But community, thank you again. We made it past our year anniversary, so this is the first episode
Yes.
after our year anniversary
Yes.
episode.
Season 2.
Season 2.
Yeah,
I guess
season 2. Yeah. I like that.
True.
Season 2. Ow.
So check us out on YouTube. We are on YouTube. Subscribe, please, and also subscribe and download to our podcast wherever we're streaming, wherever you stream podcasts. So YouTube and podcast, stream it, and I guess we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I love you guys.
Bye,
Guys, have a
y'all.
good one.